Settling for less.
Settling for less. If you don't feel worthy of love, you might tolerate mistreatment, lack of effort, or unbalanced dynamics because you don't believe you deserve better. I do feel like if you have a history of dating a certain type of person, it would probably be easier to accept less because that's all you know.
Yeah, or sometimes it's you don't get that love. You want that love, so you'll settle for any love you get.
Yeah, almost like you're so desperate to
Yeah.
just find love that you're willing to take anything you can get.
And disregard all of your standards.
Yes, but
and what you
yeah,
want.
quality over quantity.
Heavy.
Yeah, quality, even in your experimenting phase, quality over quantity still. Can you be proud of this experiment or not?
I was proud of mine.
Yeah, me too. I could say that I was proud of mine as well. And like if it didn't work out, I definitely learned something from it.
Yeah.
I do think that being in relationships with people or even like friendships, they all serve as a learning opportunity in some way.
Or even just like showing you what your boundaries are.
Yes,
or what your limits of how crazy you can
yes,
be.
which is incredibly important to know because once you realize like you want to have a serious relationship, if you're not aware of your boundaries or your triggers, if you're not aware of who you are as a person when you're single and when you're in a relationship, it's not really fair to your partner to have to figure out how to navigate that if you don't even know how to navigate it yourself. Yeah.
Wow, very well said.
Thank you. But settling for less is something you need to pick up on that you're doing. And if it's not serving you,
Most
even more
times,
so.
Settling for less is a internal problem.
What problem do you think it is internally?
You're finding everything that you need to do for yourself from other people.
I literally stayed in relationships or talking stages with people simply because of the potential I had or I had assumed of them because I was so desperate, you know,
Because you can
to just be with someone.
right? You see what they can be, so you stay to hopefully get that.
And half the time,
it comes with the next person.
yes. But usually the reason, like, not the reason, but sometimes you see the potential in people based off of the half-hearted things that they're doing. Like half-hearted meaning like someone can promise you this and that, or they can say like I have the potential to do this or that, and they may never reach that potential. So that's what I mean by half-hearted. Like it's not a genuine, like you're not basing their potential off of genuine motives, words, promises, you know. So
there should never be a time where you're both not giving the same percentage of effort. If one's giving more, something's wrong.
yeah,
That goes both ways, from me to someone else and from someone else to me.
I understand some days you're just not having it and your partner will have to pick up the slack, but if that is happening consistently, might want to rethink what their motive is for being in the relationship. Do you just like the label?
Ooh.
You know?
Some people do it for the label.
Because you don't want to be 50 and miserable. Looking back on like the last 30 years of your life, like, oh my God, I could have done this or that and that with this, or I could have, who knows? We don't know. Don't judge here.
Settling for less will put a pause on the goals that you set for yourself.
Yes.
If they're not supportive and they don't drive you and motivate you to do the things that you love and set yourself to do, then like what did you really do with your life?
I do feel like settling for less prevents you from seeing your potential. One, now you're going to do anything you can to keep them. Like you're going to settle for less, but you're also going to do whatever you can to keep them. And it's going to be hard to even set boundaries. I mean, you're settling for the person. So you're basically giving all of the power and the control to the other person. You're letting them dictate however the relationship goes. At that point, you have no power. You have no control, no power. You are limited. You're not limitless. You're limited.
And basically, ends up being that the life you live isn't your life, it's theirs.
Seen that so many times.
That's so sad. We also have to acknowledge the fear of being lonely.
Yes.
That
Fear of being lonely.
I think mostly on the girl side. I'm not sure about the boy side.
I feel
But
like
fear of ending up alone.
I feel like guys are never truly, they'll never let themselves truly be alone. Like they could be single but they're not alone, whereas I do feel like it's more common for girls to come out of a breakup and not, or like they struggle to like go back out. They struggle to even try to build another connection with someone. That's just something I've noticed personally. I don't know. I do feel
Yeah, sometimes it's just I'm only comfortable with holding your hand until I get more comfortable with you.
Mhm.
It could be months because the last relationship was just so hard.
Yeah.
And that other person has to be okay with it.
For me, it depends on the person. But yeah, for me, it definitely takes me a long time to get comfortable.
Plus, I already hate physical touch. Like, I only allow only a number of people, basically, that I can count on my one hand to touch me. Like,
Mhm.
that just makes me feel uncomfortable. So, if you're a random person and I'm getting to know you, even more so, I don't want you to touch me around
You know, something that I notice is that during those moments of like being single, I feel like that helps with not settling for less. Like, because you can kind of see how a man will treat you based off of, oh, like you have these boundaries right now, these walls are up right now. Okay, like, are they going to handle you with care or are they just going to keep trying to force things? And yeah, I feel like that could help a lot with not settling. Do they see you beyond the physical aspects of a relationship? Do they look at you and your heart, or are they just looking at you,
Yeah,
your body, your image, your Instagram?
because I've definitely, because I don't know, I think I'm just still healing from one particular situation that, like, I've had someone push that boundary for me, and I was like, whoa.
How'd you react to it towards that person?
Oh, it happened like a couple times for me to realize that it was happening.
Pattern recognition.
Yeah, but it was so clear the first time when I look back at it. So I was like, whoa. But if they're constantly pushing that boundary, like, that's going into danger mode. It wasn't benefiting you.
What would you think are good ways to take care of yourself in a relationship?
Making sure that you have things you do together, but also things you do apart.
Individuality.
Because, like I said, like, you can only spend so much time with a person. You still have to have your own thing. And if you guys can respect those things and then come together and do things too, I think that's a recipe for a great relationship.
I think I saw something on social media about like the difference between, I think it was codependency and interdependency, and like codependency, I think we all know what codependency is. You know, you got to do everything with the person, and you can't live without them for real, for real. You can't even like make your own food without them. I'm just kidding.
Like, even if it's things you guys do together, you can still do them by yourself.
Yes, and I
Being
think
able to do
that's
that's important.
I think interdependency was the word where it's different from codependency because like you can still you use both of your strengths and weaknesses to, you know, add to each other, to benefit
Yeah.
each other, to nurture each other, and that's something I'm still in the learning phases of because I can be codependent. I can be codependent, yeah. But picking up on things like scrapbooking or like reading on my free time or doing social media, like doing things outside of a relationship that I don't need to be doing with my boyfriend, but I can have him come and do it with me if he wanted to or if I wanted to. Amazing. If you can be like your own person in the relationship and just support each other, learn how to support each other through their strengths and weaknesses. Oh my god.
Because I think everything just comes together to when things come together well, it's okay, but you still have to have that out. I feel.
You need an out, whether that's your friends.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're good influences and you're not going to your friends to just talk crap and linger in the thought of like, oh my god, he's not doing this, he's not doing that.
Going to your friends to talk about your relationship is one thing. Going to your friends to talk about your
You're
relationship
good, you're good.
all the time is another.
That's why we have microphones. So
Oh, yeah.
we're good, we're good.
We're fine.
But yes, agreed. Oh yeah, you can talk. You can talk.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're fine. I might just ask you to come and talk too.
Yeah.
But are you in a relationship?
I am.
Really?
Yes. Communication's key.
Communication. What is your name?
Anthony.
Anthony. He is helping us right now. He said communication is key. Transparency. Is your boyfriend transparent with you? Because if not, what are you doing? I mean, if he's honest, that's great too. That we can start there. Let's learn how to be a little bit transparent too. That goes for men and women. From our experiences,
Yeah.
we can only speak from a woman's perspective.
Yeah, from our gender perspective. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm still single.
Because you don't settle for less?
Because I have an expectation for myself and also an expectation for the other person. Which the expectation for the other person can be moldable. Because if they have other strengths in areas that not compensate, but that, don't, that add to another area that you might not be strong in, I'll take it. But I have an expectation for myself.
It's moldable. Expectations can be moldable. It's not a one size
But I do
fits
have
all.
like couple hardcore ones that
Right.
like you gotta have. Other stuff, I'm willing to be flexible.
We love that willingness to be flexible. I think that definitely benefits both partners because obviously we're all different people.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all different people. No one is gonna fit a mold perfectly. It's great to manifest that.
Fits a mold perfectly.
No,
It always comes out cracked or like not filled in.
Yes, so you can manifest on the full moon, the night of the full moon. You can do all of those things, but like to be real, no one is gonna fit the mold perfectly, and I do think that the expectations should be moldable. I love that. I used to not be like that. I'm still learning how to be flexible with my expectations based on the person.
Yeah, it's not like I can make them in a oven.
See, and I have
with
an
the
issue.
things that
I have an
recipe
issue.
that I want.
Yeah, I do have a problem with like
I was totally
forcing
like that
people
before.
into this mold,
Yeah.
and I'm learning how to not do that because I just keep getting disappointed. But it's like, why are you getting disappointed, Kahua? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even show up how I want to show up every single day, and I don't want people to be disappointed in me. Yeah, I can be disappointed in them. Like, come on,
You have
Kahua.
to accept each other.
Yeah,
Who you are.
acceptance.
And then when you're committed, you grow with each other.
Acceptance, but still like staying true to your values. Like,
Yeah.
it's one thing to accept and tolerate. So like for sure accept them for who they are, but it doesn't mean you have to tolerate them. It doesn't mean you have to like stay close to them. It doesn't mean you have to stay in the relationship with them. You can still love them from a distance, and yes, that's easier said than done, but you don't need to tolerate everyone, and you can let go of people and release people with grace and love.
Yeah.
Because they don't fit in the mold, but they just don't align with where you're trying to go, with the person that you are, with the things that you like. They don't align, and sometimes people don't align, but you can still accept that they are that way. I accept you for who you are, and I love you from a distance if I have to. Moldable, though.
Very, very well said. Yeah.
I cannot wait to put the moldable thing on.
Yeah.
Flip the script. Let's talk about how we can like better our relationships or better our self-worth. So yeah, and I do think that one step to even accepting people and knowing that your expectations are moldable is like understanding that you are also a work in progress.
Yeah.
Like if you just think you're like this perfect person that can do no wrong, yada yada, it's gonna be very hard for you to be flexible with your expectations, and that was me. I did that a lot. I will say that I'm guilty.
Whoa.
Yeah, you grow from learning these things about you. You gotta accept yourself first and all of your flaws
Bruh.
so that you can accept others for theirs.
Yeah, and then whatever your flaws are, maybe they have strengths in them.
Yeah. Yeah, like my flaw, I would say I can be very loud and I keep tabs on people. You know what that would be really good for? A lawyer. You did this and that and that.
Yeah. You know, I
You
actually
get
thought
locked
of
up.
that, when why not?
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Because I see the way Capri goes through law school and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
no.
not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. No.
Oh, wow. My flaw is
Yeah.
I'm too dependent.
Hmm?
I mean, too independent. I'm comfortable with myself to praise myself, validate myself, compliment myself. I really don't need anybody to do it for me. I do it enough for myself. But do I still crave the love? Yeah. I would love to spend time with another person. But am I searching for it? Am I obsessing over it? No, I feel like the moment it comes, it'll come when it needs to. Timing is key for me. All about the timing.
Key. Don't need to rush things unless you're desperate. Then you probably will rush into
Yeah.
things that.
I think one thing I can say is that I'm putting myself more out there to receive. Because I can't get anything at home.
Someone who has difficulty accepting love is more open to receiving it.
What?
We love